Let's begin with a little history lesson. Everybody okay with a little history lesson? We all love a little history lesson, right? Few mysteries have plagued Canaanite scholars with such persistence and urgency as the details of the origins of the Bali. As the story goes, a powerful Canaanite discovered a large cult that had worshipped blasphemous entities for many generations. The cultists would sacrifice prisoners, slaves, children, livestock, and throw their bodies into a great stone well. The Canaanite had seen their rituals and wished to show these people that their depravities and atrocities were nothing. The priests rose up against him, but their incantations proved useless. The power of his voice struck them dumb and silenced their cries. His gaze struck down the weak-minded and feeble. He ripped the strong ones limb from limb and commanded the others to rend each other's flesh with their knives. He tossed their bodies into their own pit and dropped some of his own blood into the well when he was done. The result? Out of hundreds slaughtered that night, only 3 survived. They lapped up the blood and clawed their way out of the organ pit the following evening. They were filthy with gore, caked in blood, and howling with unquenched fury and madness. They were mad and hateful and thirsty for death. The Bali had been born. 3 Bali arose from the well, each equal to the others in power. The first was Nergal, the terror behind the Babylonian deity. The second was Moloch, who sired progeny until the Bali were like a plague of locusts spread throughout the Phoenician empires. The name of the third, and even its gender, are a mystery. Nergal and Moloch rarely spoke of their sibling, but each would grow wroth, a dimension of the third. My friends, you followed clues, indications, all the way here. You entered beneath the city of Chicago. You eventually found your way into what appears to have been a long time ago, a giant cistern meant to collect water. It has a different purpose now. You can see on the walls of it several instances of black hands painted around and red hands painted over it. You know that this is where the black hand you were looking for, Ophelia, the Assamite assassin, had laired for a while. But apparently not so anymore. The ground at your feet is littered with dead bodies, some fairly fresh, others days, weeks, maybe even months old. The underlayer is just this goo, this bloody, raw, foul-smelling goo of blood and fat that sticks to your feet, to your shoes, to your legs. The smell of death here is horrible. You've all had opportunity in your own lives to witness the unthinkable and smell the even more unthinkable, but this place is drawn from even the worst of your nightmares. This goo squelches every time you take a step. About 30-some feet up above your head, a group of strange people, creatures, hard to tell. Their skins white and dry and flaky, their bodies emaciated, their eyes black. Stare down at you, surrounding the entirety of the pit. Among them is another figure, a woman you don't recognize, with extremely pale white skin and dark eyes, also shrouded in this dark green robe. As you look up, you hear movement from behind you. You turn in time to see that a couple of these supplicants have thrown themselves into the well, one of them hitting the door, closing it, and the other one's piling on top of it. And as you see this, the sky above you darkens as dozens and dozens and dozens of these supplicants hurled themselves into the hole on top of you. It is raining these creatures. Men, women, children, all shapes and sizes, all types, all of them, all these bodies falling on top of you, and they keep coming. You at first manage to dodge a few, but then eventually there's too many of them. They keep hurling themselves into the pit. Some of them hit the wall, some of them hit the central pillar. Blood explodes, bones crack, others fall on the others. You hear their screams, their moans, their sibilant just howls of pain as they start piling up on top of you. In moments, you are swallowed up as these bodies pile up higher and higher and higher on top of you, and still they keep coming. You are swimming upstream, climbing on these bodies as they pile up on top of you, rending some of them with your claws, biting some others, but there's just too many of them. There's just too many of them. In moments, you are swallowed up by this mass grave, this mass mound of bodies. Sounds are muffled. The light's gone. There's pain. The one advantage is that wherever you are in this pit of death, eventually blood starts to trickle into your mouth. Blood from some of the broken bodies that have fallen on you, some of the bodies that have been eviscerated or rent apart by perhaps Carter's claws or someone's fangs. You are buried alive. Your mind starts to reel. The beast inside of you screams. It wants to be let out. It is clawing at your insides. It is ripping you apart. You remember another night, several decades ago for most of you, perhaps even longer, getting dragged somewhere, getting bitten, having your blood drained, having blood fed into your mouth, and then being buried alive, according to the ancient practices of the Sabbat, forced to claw your way out of your grave. This very act, for most of you, this very act, ripping your humanity from you, rendering you the perfect soldier for the Sabbat, with your humanity left behind, trailing behind you like a trail of blood, discarded, no longer needed. As these bodies pile on top of you, that is the memory that comes back to you. Being buried alive, being forced to claw out. Carter. You feel a hand on your shoulder shaking you. You open your eyes. You see James's face there. Hey, buddy. It's time to go. Sun's coming up. I haven't seen much movement.
James? What?
Yeah, who else is it gonna be?
What's happening? What?
Dreaming too hard again, eh, buddy? You're such a dreamer. It's gonna get you in trouble someday. Come on, get it together, soldier. You realize you're wearing green fatigues. You're somewhere in a field. There is a clear open sky on top of you. From very far away, you hear instances of gunfire once in a while. The sun is coming up on the horizon and it feels very good on your skin. The dew that had wet the entirety of the land where you're lying right now is evaporating quickly. James points at a farmhouse a little bit yonder, a small farmhouse. It's coming back to you. It's April 1945. You're near Torgau, Germany. It's the final days of the Reich. The Germans are caught between the approaching Allies and the Russians on the other side. There's fighting on the bridges of Torgau, but You and some of the other soldiers have been dispatched along the northern perimeter to make sure that no German forces are hiding in any of the farmhouses. Farmhouses like the one ahead of you. You got here last night. There didn't seem to be any inhabitants in the farmhouse, and you took turns watching through the night. Now it's morning. Sun's up.
James, take your squad. Circle around to the left. We'll go to the right.
Hey, buddy. No squad here. It's just me and you.
Where is everybody?
It's just me and you. Who else is fighting? Come on, we gotta go check it out.
Right. He would immediately check his weapon, and look. All right. Well, I guess knock knock on the front door. Circle around back and make sure you catch anybody running out the back door. Yes.
Aye. The two of you make your way, crouching, approaching. You know that it's a favorite sport of German snipers to hide in places like this, make them look uninhabited, and when the soldiers come up looking perhaps for food, some shelter, or a bit of spoils to grab onto, to start killing them. So you're very careful as you approach. You're methodical. It takes a bit of time. You eventually make it over the fence. The animals are all gone. It's clear to see many have been slaughtered, but the others were all taken away. The place is quiet. There's no smoke curling out of the chimney. In the distance, you hear bombs now, tanks firing. The battle must be near its end. You get to the front door.
I try the door very, very, very gingerly, enough to get the latch to release, to where it just the smallest of hair.
The door swings open a little bit.
I give a listen to see if I can hear anybody.
You don't hear anybody, but you think you heard a chicken.
Right. And he steps back and he pulls two of his grenades from his belt, pops the pins, mule kicks the door, throws them both in, and then immediately pulls the door shut.
The explosion rattles your teeth, blows out windows, splinters the wood of the door where you are standing.
Think it's clear, James?
Fucking warn a guy next time.
You're fine.
Going in. You hear the back door break open as he enters.
Behind you.
You walk into the room. It is oddly undisturbed. The table is still there, a couple of chairs. It looks empty of almost everything. The only thing that you can see are the scorch marks from the grenade on the floor and on the ceilings, on the ceiling and on the walls. On the table is a cage with a black chicken in it. The chicken looks at you with some suspicion.
James, are you seeing this?
Didn't you throw a grenade in here?
Through two.
Then why is the place not fucked up?
You know, we've saw a lot of crazy things from Africa to Italy to here to France and now into Germany. I'm not really going to question it at this point, but the real question I have is, what's with the fucking chicken?
He approaches the chicken. The chicken turns its head, looks at him. You think we should shoot it?
Well, the grenades didn't do anything. I highly doubt a 45 is going to do much better.
Well, we can always try. And he reaches and pulls out the 45 from his holster, and you could swear you heard from underneath the floorboard, a small whimper.
Like he just looks down and immediately just rips open with his Spitfire through the floorboards.
You fire through the floorboards. You hear someone scream. You hear the voice of a man screaming in pain. You hear a woman start screaming and crying, yelling in German, "Schnell, schnell!"
Fuck it, James, look for a door. Look for a door.
James runs outside. Oh, did you mean like a trap door? Is that what you were talking about?
Like a cellar door, a wine cellar door.
Yeah, all right. So James turns over the table, flips over. You notice there's nothing around, and then you see it under the pile of wood. There's a little difference, a little deviation between two of the planks.
I just run over, like rip it up, like as quickly as possible. And
sorry, go ahead.
And like he's like upside down through the hole with his flashlight, right, and his pistol, looking down in there.
You look in there, you see a man wearing a white shirt and some gray pants, and there's blood all over his legs, and he's trying to stop the blood from welling out of his leg. It's clear he's bleeding a lot. There's a young woman with him, and she's taken her scarf off of her head, and she's trying to tie a tourniquet around his leg. There's about maybe like this much space in that floor space underneath. She's yelling in German. I don't know how much you speak German, but you know enough to hear that she's crying for help. She wants help for her husband.
James, shot a civilian. Just keep watch. And he crawls down, like pulling his aid pack like out of his waistband as quickly as he can, and trying to like low crawl over to the father to be able to try and bandage him up.
You get over there. You manage to crawl there. At first, the woman's kind of afraid of you, and you can see she lifts up and she's got like this old rusty hatchet. She's got nowhere to swing it, but it's the only thing she's got, and she's kind of like torn between letting you approach and hitting you.
I just like as I'm crawling, he's like 9999999, and like he pulls it out and he like points to the red cross that's on his aid bag, like on his little aid pouch, and he starts trying to like wrap the wound up on the father.
As you wrap the wound, you get it in there real tight. You get a tourniquet on. You realize it's pretty bad. He's probably gonna die, but you realize something. Those are the pants of a German officer. When you look up, his wife has a Luger in her hand, and she's holding it pointed at you, shaking.
I instinctively draw and shoot her.
Alex.
Yeah.
You're in a classroom. You're sitting kind of in the back. There are two other student pulpits in front of you. There's a young boy at one, his head down, working furiously. And to the one on your right, there's a woman with her head down, working furiously. You can't tell who these are. You don't know them. There is a teacher at the front of the class who is talking and just showing what's on the board. You can see a lot of things on the board you don't understand. Most of it's kind of gobbledygook. You see several drawings done in chalk. The teacher turns around. She's wearing this dark crimson shirt, and as she turns around, you realize she looks a lot like you. You're sitting at your desk. You don't understand what you're supposed to be doing. There's a notebook in front of you with lines. It's empty right now. You have a pencil in your hand. When you look, your hand is very small, and you realize your feet are not touching the floor where you're sitting. You have no clue what you're supposed to be writing. You don't understand. The teacher is talking. It's kind of like Charlie Brown's teacher, where like the sounds are coming at you, but you don't understand what's going on. You have no clue what's happening. The other two students in front of you, the boy and the girl, are clearly working furiously. They know what's going on. They're writing. They're going to be done before you. But you have no clue what you're supposed to be doing.
I'm sorry. Can you slow down?
The teacher stops and looks at you. Is something wrong, Francis?
I don't know what's going on.
As the teacher puts the chalk down and comes towards you, the voice plays back in your head. You remember hearing that voice. You remember hearing that voice in the prison cells in Gary. Now, Francis, you're usually so good at this.
Maybe if you just repeat it, I'm sure I can get it.
Are you sure that's going to help at this point? Haven't I repeated it often enough? I'll tell you what, Francis, why don't you come up here? Come up to the blackboard with me.
I look at the two others, mortified. Nightmare, truly a nightmare, and shakily stand up from my desk and put my pencil down and lead feet approach the board.
As you're walking, you realize you look like yourself more. You've grown to the age that you are now. You're no longer the little girl who's sitting in the back. As you approach the board, the teacher hands you a piece of chalk, and in that same voice says, "The problem, Francis, is that you're very indecisive. Now, look, turn around. And when you do, you see the two students are still working very furiously, but you see the little girl has grown also. You see it's your sire, Bahari. And in the other place where the little boy was is a man with dark, long hair and a beard, dark skin, and you recognize the Cardinal Santiago, both still working furiously. Poor Francis. So busy serving all the time. Aren't you tired of serving?
I don't consider it serving.
No? What would you call it then?
Biding my time.
Biding your time for what?
I'll know it when I see it.
Are you so certain you've not seen it yet?
I have no reason to doubt it.
Come with me, Francis. And the teacher moves over to the windows and looks outside into the courtyard. Come here.
I follow.
Outside in the courtyard, in one of the archways, you see a shadowy figure you can't quite make out, and you see Elliot walking towards them. The teacher says, "This is such a small thing. This is such a small, insignificant thing, a human. And yet, you can't reach out and just take it, even though you clearly yearn for it. If you can't even reach out and take this, how are you going to reach for something more meaningful?"
Elliot's different.
How so?
Elliot is everything that these silly, silly humans could be. Elliot doesn't need to be ruined by someone like me.
You are a follower of Set, are you not?
Yes.
Isn't that your bloodline's entire purpose? and to corrupt and to sow darkness and to make humanity realize what it really is?
I think that's what Elliot really is, though. It's not a matter of corrupting when someone is simply that pure.
Well, I've been around for a long time, Francis, a very, very long time. I've been around for so long that I sometimes even forget parts of it myself. I've been everywhere, from a place of sand and not much else to here. I've traveled all these miles, most of them while I was asleep, and I've done this through the power of my will. And I can tell you one thing: no one is pure. Purity is a lie. Purity is simply waiting for enlightenment to come.
What do you want from me?
Oh, so much. I need you. I need you, Francis. I'm not lying. Of your companions, you are the only one that I believe has the depths necessary to achieve greatness. The others have their uses, but you are beyond compare. I've waited a very long time for you to come here, and I have had to, and she motions towards the other two, exercise a lot of influence on very powerful creatures to get you all the way here. I want you to come home, Francis. I want you to come to a place where you will be valued for who you really are and what's really inside of you. No more hiding, no more serving, no more bending the neck to those who are not worthy of it. Sever those bonds. Make yourself free.
How would I not, in turn, then be serving you?
Because my ultimate goal is not control. I have a very specific need for you, and I will give you something fair in exchange. And once you've accomplished this thing for me, I will pay you, and then you are free to do whatever you wish. For the first time, you'll be without a master. I need your help. And if you help me, not only will I remove the fetters that bind you to these two fools, but, she points down, I will tell you what lies in those shadows down there.
It's interesting how many people consider myself so subservient. Poor Francis. I, at that point, would like to reach out a hand to this woman that looks like Meat's throat and just try to take a nice little bite. I am done with whatever she has to say.
You reach out, you grab her. She doesn't offer much in the way of resistance. You pull her to you, and your fangs sink into her neck. Archie. The music is great. Ooh, baby love, my baby love. You're sitting. You don't know how you know this, but you're sure of it. You're sitting in the Motown record offices. The music is coming from next door. There is a light over the door that says on-air recording. You can hear the music being played, being made. Next door, you're sitting on a leather couch. There are music magazines, LPs lying all around the room. Yeah, that's good stuff. You're sitting in a piece of history. You are sitting where it all began. Who knows who else is behind that door? Who knows who else has sat right where you're sitting right now? The only thing that's kind of weird. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, in this moment, like, Archie's trying to gather himself and, acting like he belongs in this moment. Just kind of tries to sit back and relax, but anybody can see on his face that he is extremely excited.
Feels good. It's kind of like being back home, only better. And then you notice the umbilical cord that's running out of the front of your shirt. It's wet and covered in blood, and it runs out to the floor and under the table and up under the desk that's sitting nearby and through a door and down a corridor.
I follow it, and he's frantic just for the sight of it, but he follows it.
You follow, pushing the table aside, following this umbilical cord that's attached to you. You push the desk over, everything that's on it spills off. LPs, papers, a coffee cup, everything just spills to the floor. You follow it, you turn the corner. You walk down this hallway with this checkerboard flooring of linoleum, these doors on either side that have these images from all these amazing Motown performers and artists throughout all the years, those Stevie Wonders, the Four Tops, everyone. And you see the umbilical cord disappears under a closed door at the other end of the hall.
Archie approaches the door. He doesn't open it yet, but he kind of just sits there, kind of putting his ear against it to see if he hears anything.
You hear the wet sounds of the umbilical cord as it coils and piles up at your feet, and breathing coming from the other side.
Jeez.
Just for you, creep.
Archie puts his hands on both of the door and puts his forehead to it, and he's just like, just one day would be really nice. And he opens the door.
When you open the door, the room is cavernous and dark. It's very hard to tell where the walls and the ceiling are. The floor looks to be made of this very smooth, dark stone. There are 4 black candles, giant black candles that are kind of in a circle in the middle area. One of them is not burning anymore. The other 3 are. And at the center of this circle, attached at the other end of the umbilical cord, is Cardinal Santiago. You feel a tug. The umbilical cord is being pulled taut between your legs. It flies out the other side of the room. You fall on your face. It's starting to wrap around you. It's grabbing under your arm, around your neck. It's pulling taut. It's pulling you down the corridor. It's trying to pull you away. You feel yourself, Archie, rising out of this mess of bodies at the bottom of the pit. Your head is just pounding. Your clothes are ripped and covered in blood and all sorts of goo as these ropes that are tied around your torso under your arms, and one of them, your arm is kind of like jammed like this, and the other rope is kind of halfway around your neck, and you're being pulled slowly out of this mess of bodies. You find yourself unable to do anything. You're aware of what's going on, but there's like a shroud around your head, and these supplicants pull you out. The mass of bodies is writhing as most of the supplicants are still alive that have fallen in there. You can see a hand you're certain is Lydia's hand, who's trying to claw her way out of this mess of bodies. You're seeing movement somewhere as if there's something that is doing something terrible, destroying some of these. There's like a little hole that's being kind of caving in one corner, but there's nothing you can do. You get pulled out of this mess. In moments, you are dragged out of the pit. You are hoisted up. There is a piece of wood that is placed under your arms, and you're sort of half crucified and hauled up. And as you're being hauled up, you feel something inside of you. You feel something coming up, and suddenly you're vomiting darkness. There's all this black ichor and ooze that just drips out of your mouth and falls onto the floor at your feet. The strange woman that was there earlier looking at you down the pit cocks ahead as she watches this happen. You keep vomiting forth this darkness, and as you do, it starts taking shape in front of you. In moments, you see standing in front of you a shadowy version of Cardinal Santiago. You've heard of this power. It's a power of legend among the La Sombra. It's called the Secret Sharer, the ability to create a shadow version of yourself and to hide it inside other kindred. There's only one problem with this particular power. The kindred that hides the Secret Sharer must also share blood with the one creating it. This shadowy version of Santiago comes over to look at you, puts a hand on your face. You've done very well, my boy. You've done very well indeed. I knew you could do it. The woman behind says, Cardinal Santiago, we finally meet. Shall we begin? And Santiago says, yes, let's. But first, put my progeny down. Lower him. Give him a little dignity. The supplicants move. Lower you to the ground. They start wrapping you in this fresh, clean linen. You still find it difficult to do anything. You know that the spell of the Secret Sharer, this power, unfortunately saps the host of most of their ability to act, to do things. You are, unfortunately, until it returns to you, not much more than the shell of who you used to be. Santiago looks at the woman and says, it's time we end this futile little struggle between the two of us. She says, you know what you have to do. He says, I know, and I've been doing my best. I have sent someone to Hollings. She met him. She saw what he's doing. Unfortunately, he became aware of her connections, and, well, for lack of a better term, shut down his operations for now. I'm hoping she might still find her way back to him. The one with the dark eye says, this war between you and my master, and he says, it's not a war, it's punishment. I did something a long time ago without knowing what I was doing, and I am now, 1,000 years later, still being punished, and not only me, and he points towards you, but my descendants, my progeny as well. Revenge comes when it comes, Cardinal, you know this. What about the others in the pit? Cardinal says, they don't matter to me. They were just here to get Archie here. And do with them what you want.
I think in that moment, with whatever strength Archie can muster up, he just says, he's like, Lydia, she's, please.
They both turn to look at you. The woman smiles. The Cardinal kneels down next to you and goes, this will soon be over, my boy. Fret not. I'll get you out of here. You'll be fine. They're not going to hurt you any further.
Don't leave her by herself. She's been that way too long, please.
Lydia?
Yeah,
Lydia
yes.
has her own part to play in this. You won't understand this just now, Archie, but a long time ago, in Constantinople, a group of us made a grievous mistake. And now, it's our descendants who are paying for it.
I don't care about what it is you're doing. Obviously, I've done my part. Give me payment. Fish her out.
We'll see. And he turns to stand, and he looks at the woman and he says, this one, Lydia, you are on a riverboat on the Mississippi many, many years ago. The room you are in is the casino room. You can see several card tables, a roulette table. At the other end, there is a little stage for shows. The tables are full. There are people, but they look more like wax statues than people. They are sitting there unmoving, looking very wet and glassy. The food on the tables is rotten with maggots. At the central table, blackjack table, is a croupier. He is sitting there, nice vest, little pinchers on the arms, bowler hat, his face sitting in shadows, dealing out cards. Lydia, nice to see you. Play a hand?
Sure. What have I got to lose?
You are dressed in your favorite dress. You remember you were wearing it the first night you met him. Your sire, Emmerich. Please, we haven't had a chance to speak. Everything happened so quickly in Gary.
It did, yes.
Sit.
I sit down at the table.
He starts dealing out the cards. The cards are black with red lettering on them. He deals them out onto the mat. I was wondering, Lydia, how you felt. How are things now?
How are things?
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that you died. Suddenly you're here.
I am sorry. I'm very sorry. This is not Emmerich. I'm sorry.
This is not Emmerich.
No, I'm sorry. This is a shadowed face. You don't see in it. You don't know.
Got
I'm
it.
very sorry.
Okay. That's okay. The Emmerich art threw me off.
Yeah, it's okay. That's fine. But yeah, he says that. He says this shadowy face says that. How are things now?
Oh, just peachy.
Hmm.
Swell. Never been better, really.
Enjoying being at the bottom of the sacrificial pit, are you?
Well, considering I did watch Carter completely disembowel a man in a 7-Eleven in Garrison, Indiana, yeah, I would say that this is maybe a step above that.
21. You win. Very good. Accept the cards. Starts dealing another hand. I'm sorry we couldn't speak before, but of course you realized that things moved quickly and we had to be somewhat circumspect. But now that we have a few moments, I would like to take the pulse, so to speak. Find out, well, I don't need to find out, I already know. But talk about what I can do for you.
What you can do for me.
Mm-hmm. He moves and you can see on the stage behind him, there is a throne now. And on this throne, you can see your sire. Emmerich sitting there, very docile, looking off. Oh, yes. The lovely Emmerich. It's not his name now anymore. You've seen him recently, haven't you? I feel it. You've seen him, you know he's alive. Well, alive, so to speak, because none of us are truly alive.
I have seen him, and is he one of you?
Oh, no. No. In fact, quite the opposite. He now belongs to someone I quite dislike.
Who?
We'll get to that. If you win again, it's your night, Lydia. And pulls out the cards, starts dealing again. If I understand correctly, as I've been rooting through your soul while you've been meandering around trying to get to me, if I understand correctly, the path you are on requires that you serve only one, but that all others serve you. And so you are somewhat beholden to the ideal that you must find your sire to confront him to see if he can still remain your master, if he is the one to be that, or if you must kill him and take his place. Am I getting the gist of this ideology of yours?
Yes.
So wouldn't it be grand if you knew where he was and what he's doing and what he's called now?
Just
Because
tell me.
21 again. Lydia, are you cheating? Picks up the cards, deals again. Deals you 2 aces. I can give you this. I'll tell you where he is, and since you already belong to me, I'll ask for nothing other than what you've already pledged. But you have a choice to make, Lydia. You have a choice to make because you see, the sins of the father are really, really real. A long time ago, in Constantinople, the person who, well, one of the people in your bloodline angered me. And that Unfortunately, that person isn't here anymore for me to, well, get satisfaction from. So someone down the bloodline must pay. And I have to be honest with you, I really don't care if it's you or if it's your sire. But one of you is going to have to pay.
And what's the price?
Not just that. You either have to kill him or he has to kill you. And once that happens, I'll be satisfied. And if you choose to be the one who does the deed, and if you choose to be the one to kill him, well, then you never have to bend a neck to anyone ever again. You can be your own master.
With a target on my head.
A target on your head? From what?
You don't become the master without someone below you coming for your spot.
Well,
It's the whole game, isn't it?
well, that's where I come in. Because you're mine now. I protect what I own. And as long as the things you decide to do coincide with what I want, then everything is, well, what's the saying? Hunky-dory? Can I let you in on a little secret?
I'm all ears.
You know that night, not so long ago, not so very long ago, where you made a decision. You made the decision to drink a little vial that had been sent to you. It was already too late. I've owned this entire area for decades. The blood you've been drinking for decades has been tainted with ours. This entire city and everything around it belongs to me. There are a few who keep running around thinking they don't owe fealty, but their time is coming. I am very patient. But you, Archie, Francis, and everybody else you know, you've been drinking my blood for years. There is
What
no
the
such thing as free will.
fuck?
There is no such thing as free will. You are all simply part of a grander design.
Then why tempt us with the vial in the first place? Is this
It
your
was
big
nice to see
crescendo?
what someone would do. It's just interesting to see what someone would do.
But we were already there.
Yeah, but you didn't know it. It's so much better when you do it willingly. Have you suffered so terribly? No, you have not. You've prospered. Your club, everything. You've not even had to go around doing Sabbat things, running around, throwing yourselves valiantly at Camarilla walls. The most futile struggle in all the history of futile struggles.
I don't know that I could call any of this prospering. Knowing that there was some demon bullshit happening. When I
You
could have
took-
found out where my sire was this whole time.
Yes, but I wasn't ready for you to know, and now I am.
Right. Fucking game.
You get to decide what you do. You get something most of us don't ever get, a choice. So tell me, shall I turn over the next card, or...
Sure.
That's my girl. And he turns over the card. Carter. You fire. She fires. Your bullet shatters her head, goes in through the eye. Blood and brain pop out the other side. She falls down. The guy in front of you grabs you by the throat, starts hauling you towards him. What do you do?
Well, shoot him.
Blood explodes up, covers your face. You hear behind you thump on the floor above your head. The bullet missed you. The bullet fired by the woman.
I would scramble out of there as quickly as I could, and in the process, look over my shoulder and put one more in each of them, just to be sure.
The gunshot echoes in your ears. As you leave the confines of the underneath the floor, your ears are just buzzing with this strident noise. You climb up. You see James on his knees, the bullet in the upper chest area. He looks at you. I think I'm all right. Who's that guy?
Who's what guy?
When you turn around, first you notice the chicken's gone, which is kind of odd, but standing at the counter, buttering a piece of bread, is a tall, slender man wearing American fatigues, 4 stars on the shoulder. You've never seen this man before. He's gaunt, kind of feminine looking a little bit, very androgynous, but... Soldier, can I offer you a nice piece of hard as shit German bread and some freshly churned goat butter?
No, sir. And like he immediately bolts over to James. Though I would have appreciated if, perhaps you help put a little bit of, a pressure on his wound while I bandage this, fucking man down.
He's not gonna die. He's gonna be fine. The two of you live on for a good while. In fact, the two of you live on for a very long time. Don't worry about it, Carter. He's gonna be just fine.
What are you talking about? War ain't over yet.
You know what I'm talking about, Carter. Come on, snap to it, buddy. Snap to it, soldier. As he does say that, it comes back to you. You know who you are. You know you're buried right now in some pit of death in Chicago somewhere. Yeah, you've lived a long life after a life filled with blood and gore and killing. And yeah, James is still alive out there somewhere. He's a Ventru, isn't he now? There's a little bit of a frost between the two of you, but he's out there still somewhere, isn't he?
James made his decision, and I made mine. And that's all that matters.
Always such a good soldier, aren't you, Carter? Always following orders. The sergeants, the generals, the cardinal, the black hand, orders, always with a boot on your neck. Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired, son? Of following goddamn orders?
Well, you see, the funny thing about being a part of the machine is you know how to dismantle it from the inside.
Oh, would you calm the fuck down?
Yeah, not likely, demon cocksucker.
Have you been wondering, Carter, why your newfound friends haven't been respecting you much? Have you been wondering why ever since you returned to Gary that no one gives a fucking two-bit who Carter Fitzgerald is? The right hand of the Cardinal, fucking slayer of so many, conqueror of fucking Philadelphia. No one cares, right? Do you know why? Do you want me to tell you why?
Oh,
Because
I'm
they
sure.
know. They know.
What is it they know?
They know your blood is weak.
Yeah, try again, shitfuck. That ain't how it works. Sorry.
Really? Two Childers? Both turned to the Camarilla?
Listen,
You don't think that's an instance of weak blood?
nah, not really, just kids being kids.
Really, one of them almost got you killed a couple days ago.
That's true. But, and he sniffs in the air, at least I, can make kids.
Mm-hmm. You should look out the window there. There's something you need to see.
Oh, and what grandioso image of horror and debauchery are you gonna show me now?
Oh, nothing like that. It's quite touching. It's very beautiful, beautiful scene.
He turns and looks out the window.
You see Lee there, and you see her, Teddy. You remember the first night you saw her. It was at that gas station. You and Birdsong had seen some guy filling up a limo, and you thought it might be a great idea to grab whoever was in the back. And while Birdsong went ahead and killed the driver, you ripped the door off the side of the limo, and this dog attacked you. This fucking dog jumped at you and ripped your fucking face off. This dog meant fucking business, but you took care of it. And then you looked in the back seat, and there she was. So pure and innocent and beautiful. Even Carter's little fucking stone brick of a heart went, holy fuck. And then you took her, and you embraced her, and you did what the Cardinal told you to do, and you left her there. And there she is, right now, with your treacherous son, Lee. Look how close the two of them are sitting. Right next to each other. Whispering, talking, sitting in the moonlight. Did she just laugh at something he said? Are their shoulders touching? Is she looking at him like she finally found someone to teach her how to be a gangrel?
All right, shit, fuck, that's enough out of you. And he turns and he fucking like claws out, fucking goes absolutely feral and lunges at him.
And when you turn, you are faced with a door. You are in a room. It is dark. There are two red chairs, and there's a black door behind the chairs. You hear a voice. That's the exit, Carter.
Yeah.
On the other side of that door is an indication of where you can find Teddy and Lee.
That a fact.
Sure is. I'm not giving you that for free. I need something from you, but I know you better than to try and make a long-term deal with you. I really just need you to do one small thing for me, something you're probably going to want to do for yourself anyways. And then if you do, I'm going to tell you exactly when and where you're going to be able to find both of them.
And what's that?
The thing I need you to do, the thing you do best. I need you to kill a whole lot of fucking things. And I need you to take the 3 that are with you in that hole, and I need you to guide them to safety and to get them out of there. And if you do that, if you guide them out of that pit and out of that underground cavern and into the fucking fresh air, I will tell you exactly when and where you can find Teddy and Lee.
That's a tall order. Can we take the meatloaf approach on this one? 2 out of 3? That ain't bad.
That little one, Francis, she's the
Wow.
one who means the most to me.
Well, then I'll get Francis out. Fuck the rest of them. They can fend for themselves.
It's not the deal.
Well, is this when the little man in the red suit comes out to help convince me to?
No. You either step through the door or you don't.
Well, know this.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to raw dog me and fuck me over, I will spend the rest of eternity hunting your ass down till I'm wearing your face as a party hat. Do you understand me?
I appreciate your frankness. We have ourselves a deal.
He goes over and he straight up kicks the door in.
Francis,
Yes.
your teeth sink into her neck. The blood fills you. You drink heartily. You drink everything. You just gorge yourself. You drink so much you think you're going to start throwing up, and still you drink, you pull. And then at some point she says, "Do you think you're almost done? I mean, if you need more, it's okay."
Pull away. Push away, moreover, wiping away on my mouth, not caring for what is now surely a drenched sweater vest.
Mhm. You're strangely completely clean.
Oh, man. Clearly that was a waste of my time. And your time. I'm done.
Are you so certain? You don't even know what I want yet.
Too many promises have been made in the past. I'm not trusting yours any more than theirs.
But I can do so much more than they can. And as she says that, it comes to you. You remember every moment that you spent finishing War and Peace. You remember turning every page. You remember every word. You remember the time that you read it. It took you so long, but you remember distinctly every night that you sat there and made time for it and read it and got to the end of it. You remember closing the book. Putting it down on the table for the last time.
I'm sorry, it was which part of this is your doing?
All of it. All of this is me. The city, the environment, everything, the people in it, it's all me.
All I ever wanted to do was read a book,
You did.
and you kept that from me.
I gave it to you. You don't commit, Francis. You don't commit. You flit around like a little butterfly, a little bee from flower to flower, from wind current to wind current. One day being a little wallflower, one day bearing your fangs. Do you even know who you are? No one knows who you are. No one, if you ask anyone who knows you, describe Francis in 10 words or less. This is what you would get. You're a fucking ghost. You're a ghost.
And you don't think that's what I want?
No. I don't think that's what you want. I think you think that's what you want because that's what served you in the past. That's what's allowed you to get by in the past. You've disappeared. People overlook you. But I know that deep down inside, what you really want is to hurt them. And take pleasure in doing so.
Well, you know my secret. And you can help with that?
Francis, if I can help you, of all people, finish reading War and Peace, I can do anything.
It's actually a really good point. I want to look out into the courtyard again. Is Elliot still out there?
Yep, talking to whatever shadowy form is in the corner. They're yours by right, Francis.
Oh, what? Because I saw them first?
No, because you desire them. And that is the only law that matters. If you desire it, you take it. What's the point of not doing that? What's the point of living for centuries if you can't do that?
I fail to see what you're getting out of this bargain.
Francis, you're a wicked, wicked little child. And there is nothing I love more than a wicked little child.
I'm listening. What do you need?
Your patrons, both of them, owe me. Long time ago, they vexed me. I'm handling Santiago. But Bahari hides from me. She's very good at that. She's in Chicago somewhere. She's got a new child who's building a temple. Shouldn't that be you? Shouldn't you be the one building a temple? Why is it this newcomer that she didn't even know the name of a year ago? I need you to find her, and I need you to bring her a message for me, and that's all. You bring her this message, and I will give you all your answers. I will tell you who's in that shadow.
What's the message?
She smiles, and she comes over, and she leans over, and she brings her lips right up to your ear, and she says something in Turkish phrase. That's it. Just that.
I should have really stayed up on my Duolingo in Turkish.
You'll remember it when the time's right. She puts her hands on you and turns you slowly, and you can see in the wall opposite you there is a black door framed by a couple of red chairs. Skull Society Club. It's one place I know she's been in Chicago. Find her, give her my message. And you will have the means, Francis, to truly let Francis live. You will be free of the Cardinal, you will be free of Bahari, and whatever your dark, exquisite little heart wants, it gets to have.
I still think this is a deal that's too good to be true. can't say I trust you on it.
I would be very unimpressed with you if you trusted me. But you can at least trust that I see you.
Are you familiar with, was it the fable of Scorpion and the Frog?
Yes, I am, but would you like to tell it to me?
No, that's a waste of both of our times. Mostly, I'm curious who ends up being our Scorpion. And I will approach the door.
And as you open the door and step through, you hear, I don't know who's the Scorpion, but I'm the water. You step through the door, and I'm going to jump over you here for a second, Archie, and come back to you on the back end of it. Lydia. The card turns. It is entirely black. Well, looks like the future is undecided. He slides the black card over to you.
I pick it up. Flip
When
it.
you turn it around, one side is completely black, the other side says Bally's Casino, Chicago. Before you go charging out, there's something you should know, and as the croupier speaks, you realize the stage has been replaced and there's a black door and a black wall behind him. Your sire has very, very powerful friends. Too powerful for you. The more you know about them, the better you'll be equipped to do what you need to do. If you want to step through those doors, if you want to know where you need to go and who your sire's friends are, I will need to know that you are not as displeased with our arrangement as you seem to be.
I may have chosen to make a deal with the devil, but I'm not too happy about not knowing I had made it previously. So you'll forgive the anger, I hope.
Well, the real deal with the devil is coming up. Because to get out of the place you're in, you're going to have to make a real one. A real deal with a real devil who already hates you. So I suggest you be on your very best behavior.
Sure. What do I need to know?
Long time ago, a Tremere named Raina Lindworm was problematic to me. This was 1,000 years ago in Constantinople. In time, I lost track of Raina. But I found her not too long ago. Her name is now Charlotte Ross, and she is the Tremere Regent of Chicago.
I see.
Your sire, as far as he knows, or as far as he's pretending to know, it's unclear, is now her whip. She has built herself a little chantry of Tremere's other chantries don't want. She's determined to be problematic to me. And I don't need you to take care of her. I don't think you could. But it would be very useful to me if your sire was no longer part of that particular equation. So either you take care of your sire, which is double win for me because I get my revenge on your bloodline and, well, we get him out of the way, or he kills you. In which case he's still a problem, but he already is, so that's no big loss. And, well, I've gotten your bloodline to turn on itself and cull itself, which satisfies my need for my revenge against Reyna. The rest of it will come down the line. Sorry, not Reyna, but your ancestor.
Mm.
You just have to decide whether you want to be the one kneeling next to the throne with a hand on your neck, or whether you want to be sitting on your throne yourself.
I think the decision is pretty clear. Can't wait to find out what the catch is for this one.
No catch. Only an idiot doesn't know the house always wins. You're not an idiot, Lydia. So is it really a catch if you know it's there? I love your eyes, by the way. They suit you.
Well, I'm already here, so... What is it to me if I am Cardinal Santiago's pit bull or yours? Let's call it a deal then.
Excellent. See you on the other side.
See you then? And I toss my cards at him.
Do you want to know what the next card was?
Of course.
Tell you later. Folds the cards away. You walk through the door.
Sure do.
The three of you come to, suffocating if you were breathing, buried under a mound of writhing flesh, of bodies moving on top of you, clawing at you, just weighing you down. Upstairs, and we'll take a break here in just a second. Upstairs, you have, Archie, been privy to a conversation that I will inform you on during the break. You hear sounds coming from the pit. You hear, at first, groans and moans and then shrieks of pain. You hear bones breaking. You hear flesh rending. You hear people screaming. The Cardinal comes to you and says, "You know what to do, and I will inform you at the break." And he slips into your mouth again, turning into this dark black puddle of ichor, slipping into your mouth, your nose, your ears. And as he returns into you, as the secret sharer returns into you, you find that you are able to move, able to think, able to speak. You start pushing yourself off the floor. The woman who was talking with your great-grandsire looks at you and goes, "It's finally my time. I am overjoyed." And she turns as you see Carter's bloodied, furious, primal-looking claws come out of the pit, grab into the ground, break through the stone, and start hauling up. And this is where we'll go and break, my friends.
I haven't been this deep in ass since Woodstock.
The fuck?
my friends. Archie, you see this. You see Carter's hand, his claw really reach out over the lip and start pulling himself up. Let's do some initiative, my friends. And let's see if you can get out of this, because they're not gonna go easy on you.
Questions before we roll initiative.
Yeah.
First question being, can you remind us how to roll initiative? And the second question being, you were talking about us having consumed blood while we were in this pile. Do we regain any blood points?
You will, and we will deal with that on your turn. If you look where your character sheets are, there's a tab called Cheat Sheet. You can always refer to that if you need. During combat, the initiative is your dexterity plus your wits plus a d10.
Thank you.
No problem.
16.
Paralysis demon. Hold on a second, I gotta write this down because Carter, Archie, Leah, Francis. Vorina's with you. She was with you, right? Yeah, she was with you. Bad guys. Okay. Carter, what'd you get?
16.
Archie?
Nine.
Lydia?
7.
Francis?
I also got 9.
Oh, Vorina's doing terribly. Wow. It's 2 ones in a row I've rolled with this D10. I probably need to get rid of it. Reminder, you can gift advantages to our friends here either by turning in some hail points. You can give a hail to one of these fellows, giving them a night move, or you can spend some bits if you want to help them out and buy your favorite player, all of them, some night moves which allow them to get automatic successes and avoid terrible critical failures. Forgotten Nedra. Oh, that's better. At 16, Carter, you have managed to kind of bite and claw your way partially out of this. You are reaching over the lip of the cistern. There's a whole bunch of ghouls that are hanging onto you and trying to drag you back down into the pit. Go ahead and roll me a d10, Kurt.
10.
Wow, 10. So you can get as many as 10 blood points back if you need.
Yeah.
So you can max out. This is what you've had to drink. I'm also sorry to actually. Yeah, I'm gonna say you're okay because it's ghoul, because it is Bali blood, but it is ghoul. So I'm gonna say that.
It's been distilled.
Yeah, it's been distilled. It's been triple filtered, triple cold filtered, just like, of course, like
the champagne of beer. No,
the champagne of beer, a Miller Lite, the champagne.
Well,
beer. By the way, I don't know who made that T-shirt, but that's killer. I think it was Glass Jaws, the trigger warning T-shirt. Thank you.
Yeah, it was Glass Jaws.
That was made my heart feel a little warm. Miko, have you been Kentucky Fried Creature as donating 300 bits, which means each of you gets a night move from Kentucky Fried Creature. I missed any and all of the other ones, so I hope someone was keeping track. I think Miko was.
Miko had it. It's all good.
Okay. At 16, what do you do, Carter?
do I have an idea or a sense of where any of my fellow compatriots are at?
It's pretty clear there's still some people in the pit behind you. That's as far as you know right now until you pull yourself up over the lip.
I will very much pull myself up over the lip.
You pull yourself up over the lip. You see Archie lying on the floor, wrapped in a white shroud. You see a bunch of these supplicants coming towards you, armed with machetes and axes and hammers and things of that nature. And you see the woman, Nedra, standing kind of behind them, smiling, and she has removed this sort of cloak that she was wearing, and underneath she's wearing this kind of strange leather harness with various clips and whatnot, and she has two fuck you big knives in her hands.
Definitely Woodstock. And he jumps, like he hurls himself across at them.
All right, so go ahead and let's call it a. Do you have any potence?
I do not have potence. No.
All right, so go ahead and give me a strength and athletics.
All right.
Your target is going to be 6. Reminder to all my friends playing right now that. Okay, hold on to that. Reminder to all my friends right now that you roll the target or above, and any ones you have cancel successes you might have. And if you have more ones, then you have successes you botch critically and things get horrible. If you have a 10, that is a critical hit, you're allowed to re-roll that 10 and see where it leads you. 3 successes, you managed to kind of pull yourself out. Are you attacking Nedra? Is that what you were doing, like launching something? Okay. You managed to kind of pull yourself out of this thing and describe that to us as you sort of leap forward and to her. And I will say that your action is to kind of leap forward and pull yourself out and leap forward. So you're going to land there. You're not going to be able to get a hit right now, but do tell us what that looks like as you charge forward.
So he very much pulls himself forward, and he kind of like crouches down like you'd imagine like a dog almost, or a cat, like a large apex predator. And with all of his might and everything that he can muster, he literally just launches himself up and over using using his undead strength to essentially go up and over, right? So he very much looks like Liev Schreiber from freaking X-Men Origins right now, as he is Sabretooth and just launching himself up and over, ready to just annihilate whatever's in his path.
Awesome. A note to everybody else, you can spend some of your blood points. You can spend 1 point to increase a physical attribute by 1. You can do that as many times as you can spend blood in a turn, and that increases it for the whole scene. So if you want to increase your stamina or your dexterity or your strength, you can spend blood to get that going. You jump in front of her and you land, and she looks at you and she goes, I am ready, but will not go easy. And she will attack you because she goes next at 15, and she will come at you. So you may attempt to do you have taken an action, so you cannot unfortunately dodge or defend yourself. You'll only be able to soak. All right, go ahead and roll your I forgot again to write the freaking, oh, there it is. Damage of the weapons. Sorry. All right, so 5. So your targets are 5s.
I rolled 6 dice total, and I have 5 successes at 5 or better.
All right, 5 successes is really good because I had 6. So she does still hit you as you manage to soak up 5 damage plus, hold on 1 second. Yeah, you take 1 damage. You take 1 damage as you manage to soak most of it. And after that, we go to, at 10, we get both Vorena and the bad guys. I'm not going to have NPCs fighting NPCs, but you hear all sorts of screams of pain and whatnot coming from the pit as Vorena's doing something, no doubt, absolutely horrible in there. A couple of these guys will attack you, Carter, upstairs. So go ahead and roll another soak roll. Your target this time is still 5.
Are we 10 exploding on soak or no?
Yes. On soak, no, you don't.
Okay. So that's going to be 3 successes.
3, so you will take 2 more damage. These are normal. This is normal wounds, by the way.
Okay.
and another attack comes at you. So go ahead and do another soak roll.
Four.
4. All right, that's good. You take 2 more damage as 2 of them have come in and they're hammering down at you with axes. This is all normal damage, still not aggravated damage. Down into the pit at 9, Archie and Francis. So the 2 of you, sorry, Archie, you're on top. So we'll deal with Archie first. You are on top. You're seeing Carter has come out. He's got a couple of them on him. He's fighting Nedra. Nedra's fighting back. There are more of these things that are kind of coming. They're kind of ignoring you right now. You're lying on the floor, and they're sort of ignoring you. You can hear carnage in the pit. What would you like to do?
Am I able to get up even with all of these wraps that are?
Oh yeah. You can just kind of rip it. It's just like light gauze. You can easily kind of rip through it.
Okay, I get up with the wraps, and can I clearly see an exit or a direction of a potential exit?
There is sort of kind of behind it. There's a set of metal stairs that goes up, and then there's kind of a catwalk, and you can see a set of double doors up there. It's not exactly clear how they open or what the deal is, but you could that would be possibly an exit. There's also back down into the pit if you feel like that.
This Kratos always good an option. So Archie's gonna get up. He's gonna see that there's a direction toward those double doors, and looking around and hearing the conversation and knowing what he knows, he's just gonna walk to the doors.
Okay, so you start walking. I'll say you can kind of get into the stairs and start walking up to the catwalk. As you saunter off, Carter, you see this. He's just kind of sauntering off. Down into the pit, Francis. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like this before, but it's pretty terrible. The supplicants that are on you are not physically attacking you. They're just kind of lying there. Some of them are injured, some of them are still alive. They're literally just lying there and kind of chanting. They seem to be in this kind of religious fervor or something. Their eyes are rolled back in there and they're just chanting, and they're just basically being piled on top of you. What would you like to do?
Get the fuck out. Doing best to find top from bottom. I imagine it is a lot like being in the water, not knowing which way, but hoping swimming to the top and clawing, biting, snarling way to get out.
Okay, so how about you first start by rolling a d10 so we can see how much blood you managed to ingest.
Sounds good. Got a 7.
All right, so you can get 7 blood back. That you've ingested in the time that you've been down in here.
Mm-hmm.
So telling the top, the top from bottom is not too hard. You can do that. Crawling out of here is going to require strength. Do you want to just try with the strength you have, or do you want to try to boost it up with some of the blood that you have?
Ooh, we might want to boost it.
Your 10th generation, I think you can spend 2 blood per turn.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that.
So you can spend that blood up into your strength, which will bring it up to 5 for the scene. So spend 2 blood.
Okay.
And then pump that into your strength. As you feel the blood go into your muscles and you feel that ancient power that comes from vampire blood kind of, increase your strength, you start clawing out of there. So go ahead and make me a strength and athletics roll as you try to start digging yourself out from this pile of bodies on top of you.
How many?
You remember a certain evening at the sorority, but it wasn't like this.
It wasn't like this. How many night moves can we use in a roll?
You can use 1 night move, so you could buy an automatic success if you wanted.
Okay, and what was our challenge rating?
Your challenge rating for 6 will be 7.
I didn't make a single one, so even with the night move, I don't think I can make that. I didn't make a single one and 2 ones.
2 ones. All right. Well, you can spend a night move to avoid a critical botch.
Okay, then yes, I will do that.
All right. So what's happening is you're trying to dig out, but every time you kind of pull yourself up, the body kind of just shifts down and another one takes its place, and you're trying to kind of move them, but they just keep kind of piling on, and they're moving kind of strategically to stay on top of you, so that it really feels like you're in quicksand trying to climb out, and there's an arm that goes around your neck, and you're just kind of all sticky and gooey with blood and goo and whatnot. It's just really, really difficult. Now you can speak and yell or do something if you want to cry for help or do something like that. You can still do like a speaking action if you want in your turn.
I don't think that's on her brain at the moment. If I am yelling, it is nothing coherent. It is cursing. It is frustrated sounds, but nothing like, please help me.
Okay. Go ahead and also make me, while you're at it, a self-control roll.
Sure.
So roll number of dice equal to your self-control virtue.
Okay. I got. Oof. Damn, that's a shame. But
Your targets are 6.
so I have 2 10s, 4 successes total with 1 botch.
Okay, so that's great. So you don't lose control of yourself as you're being buried by this. You manage to kind of keep calm, and you're still kind of trying to dig yourself out. You're just not having a lot of success right now.
Okay.
Lydia, at 7.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm hungry.
Roll a d10.
Okay. Ooh, 9.
Nice.
Dang. Cool. I am going to use Arms of the Abyss to conjure up some tentacle boys to pull these fuckers off of me.
Excellent deal. You got an extra 9 move, Alex, from Silver, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. So I think you're going to roll your manipulation plus cult, and you have to spend a blood point.
Yes.
Then make
But I'm
manipulation
doing a
plus
lot
cult.
better than I did before because I was hungry. Okay, so...
Your target is 7.
Yep. Great. That's a whole lot. Hold on. Okay. That's 1, 2, 3 successes.
So you 3 tentacles that emerge from the shadows, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess maybe you summon them in the shadows of the roof so that they can reach down, and or maybe,
Yeah, or bursting out is also visually something that I thought would be disgusting. That
so
one's
yeah,
for
these
Raven.
black tentacles sort of reach out and start moving bodies around you. Their strength is going to be, each tentacle 6 possesses strength and dexterity equal to the invoking vampire's obtenebration trait. Your obtenebration trait being 3, so their strength is 3. So go ahead and give me 3 rolls of 3 dice, please. Target being 7.
Oh, that didn't succeed at all. Can I use a night move?
Well, so you give me 3 separate rolls of 3 dice, right?
Oh, okay. So first one, no whammies, total whammies, but not a fail.
Okay.
Second one, I got a 1, but a 7.
The
Third one,
cancels out the 7.
third one, I got 2 successes.
Okay, so 2 of them are kind of flailing and not being too useful, but one of them manages to start moving things. So I will say that you managed to kind of get on top of the pile of bodies, and you're crawling towards the edge. And once you get to the edge, you can start trying to climb out. But you're basically body surfing right now on this mound of strange white skin flaking off creatures that are just sort of undulating under you. And it's kind of like, you know, those old Jello things, like, you know, fruits and acids. It's kind of like you're in one of those where the fruits are kind of bursting out and you're just lying on top of it. It's kind of spongy and wet and
So
gross.
Woodstock 99 when Korn started playing, is that what we're dealing
Exactly.
with? Okay, just want to make sure that that's what you're doing with.
That's when you know, Carter was last active, apparently.
Woodstock 99, different thing.
Different Woodstock.
No.
Oh.
Carter was OG Woodstock. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Then we're talking Woodstock 99. I'll send you that.
As you're swimming on this pool, you notice, Lydia, that there's this kind of funnel that's being created, and when you look, you can see that this not very big funnel that's maybe like 2 feet across or something like that. All these bodies are starting to all meld together into this kind of funnel, and you can see Vorena's hands just sort of manipulating all that flesh and all that bone and just like creating this little funnel for herself, all these melding these bodies together so that she can sort of climb out. And she's even making little handholds in them. And as she's pulling herself, you can see that she's made herself really, really thin and elongated. And her hand comes out, and it's kind of like seeing a spider arm that comes out, and then the other one comes out, and then the leg comes out. And she's like this spindly thing, and she's just pulling herself out of this little funnel of bodies that she's created.
I look over at her and I go, "Oh, that's my girl."
She winks at you. She is sort of climbing out back to the top. 16 Carter. You have Nedra and 2 of these things on you upstairs.
Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and go straight for the head of the snake. He's gonna
Go for it.
pop his claws and go straight for the head of the snake. Let's see here. This is gonna be... Yep, alright, so... I am going to spend a blood point, though,
Okay.
to increase my strength by 1.
Okay.
I am attacking with my claws, which do aggravated damage. What's my difficulty?
Your difficulty is 6.
6. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
6 successes?
Yeah.
No ones in there?
No, I have a 2, 6, 6, 9, 8, 8, 8, 4, or no, 5.
Pretty awesome. And what's your damage?
Damage is strength plus 3. So
What's your strength?
he does, well, I'll roll my strength. He does a total of 4 points of damage.
So you get a really good claw, and like you get in behind the swords and you get her in the stomach and you rip up, and as you do, this look of ecstasy comes on her face, and under her breath she says, "I am finally coming, my lord." And this claw kind of rips through her and she smiles sort of beatifically at you. She's not down yet, but she's really, really badly injured. And she's gonna go at 15, and at 15 she drops her knives, her daggers, and she reaches out for you. And as she does, where you ripped open her chest, the cavity sort of opens up and the bones sort of jut out and go to bury in you as she grabs you and sort of pulls you to her. So she's going to make... What's your strength?
Right now it's a 4.
Okay. That's a 1. I'll cancel that one. All right. Go ahead and make a strength roll, pure strength. Your target is 7.
I got 1 success.
Okay. She grabs you and pulls you to her, and her bones start digging into your chest. You take 3 aggravated damage as it just kind of rips right into you as she's pulling you into her. And you can see her smiling and baring her fangs, and you can see that she's going to try to bite you next. At 10, Vorena is climbing out of there. You can see her, Lydia. She comes over and she stops, sniffs the air, and then looks at the pile. There's like a place where the pile's kind of moving, and she elongates one of her arms and digs deep into that pile. And Francis, you feel something long and bony kind of grip you right by the shoulder and start trying to pull at you. And at the other 2 guys are wailing on you, Carter. Go ahead and make a soak roll, Carter. Your target is 6.
Target of 6. That is 3 successes.
Okay, so no damage on the first one. Second one, same thing.
Okay. 1 success.
Okay. So that's 1 damage. Now your fortitude. You don't have the...
Fortitude adds to my soak.
Okay, so you're rolling that? You're taking that into
Yeah.
account?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. So
I
you take
rolled
one
like,
more regular die.
I rolled like 3 1s. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to heal, by the way? I don't know how many blood you can spend per round, but
I can spend 2 per round, and I can flexibly heal up to 2 points of non-lethal with fortitude. If you'll allow me to, then yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
At 9, you continue to climb up. Archie, is there anything else you want to do, or you're just going to try to head for the door?
So am I on the second level to where Carter?
Yeah, you're kind of gotten up to the catwalk now. You just have to kind of walk around and head for the door. You're about like 50 feet in the air, basically.
Okay, so all this is happening below where I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do I see Lydia coming out of the pit?
Yeah, you see her climbing on the side of the cistern right now, and you can see Vorena's in this weird spindly form and is kind of reaching into the pile, maybe looking for Francis or something, and you see that Carter's getting a pretty good beat down up front there.
He kind of looks at the direction where the door is, and he looks back down, and he's like, "Ah, shit. Okay, fine." I'd like to take a soaring leap from where I am.
I would like you to, before you do that, I would in fact like you to you're going to make me a path roll, because you're on the path of the Night of Hierarchy of Sins, and one of the sins is acting in the interest of another.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll your conviction for me.
Remind me on that. There's so much going on in this spreadsheet.
Your conviction is 3, so roll 3 dice.
Gotcha.
They're looking for 4s. It's not too big of a sin for you.
2 successes.
Okay, so you have a moment of, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But then you kind of go, well, because I have to. So you take a leap. Are you aiming for anyone in particular?
Yeah, we're gonna drop kick one of the baddies, not the main baddie, but one of the baddies on.
You're really high.
Oh,
You're
no.
gonna hurt yourself. You're like, as I just said, you're 50 feet up in the air.
I'd like to do a drop kick from where I am on one of the baddies. That's
Yeah, absolutely. You totally
that's on
can.
Carter.
Make
Go
a
for
bold
it.
choice.
So you're gonna roll your dexterity plus athletics. Now, if you want, you can spend blood to boost your dexterity up. You only have 4 because you didn't stay in the pit. But you know what? Actually, you were in the pit for a while, so I'll give you a d6 of blood back instead of the 10.
I'll take that 3.
Go for it. So you can boost up your dexterity if you want. It's going to be your dexterity plus your athletics.
I got a 1, so I'd like to use a night move on that 1.
Well, you might not need to. Hold on. So your target for this is challenging. So your target is 7s.
Okay.
So how many 7s or more did you get?
2.
Okay. So your 1's going to cancel one of your successes. You can spend a night move to buy an extra automatic success if you want, yes.
Okay, got it. Even if it's a your 10s are critical successes, yeah?
Yeah, so you re-roll that 10 and see what it gives you. It explodes. So if you got a 10, re-roll it, and it's like you get an extra die.
Got it. So then it gives me 3 successes.
Okay. So you... dude, tell me what happens. Like, describe this, WWE fucking jumping from the top of the cage in the steel cage match. Go for it,
Just
mankind. Go for it, mankind. Tell us how it happens.
Like Archie takes a second and he looks over and he's like, oh, fine, fuck. And then he like goes to one side, almost kind of doing a springboard off of the ropes, and he just grabs the top of the rail and like leaps his legs over, aiming down on the person. If we had the camera angle by Carter would be facing the big baddie, and all you would just see is a fucking fistful of Archie just on one of the baddies. And he kind of tumbles there, and he's just like, "Fuck, okay."
Targeting one of the supplicants, or were you targeting Nedra?
The supplicants that are on his back.
All right, on one of the back from Archie. Yeah, so you come in fastball special, drop on this thing. It folds under your weight as you drag it to the ground. I'm going to see you take 2 regular damage, unsoakable. So just mark 2 regular damage on your sheet. You see there's 2 columns, and one says A, and the other one says, I don't remember what the other one says. N probably for normal, so mark him under normal. Yeah. Those you can heal by spending blood. 1 blood will heal 1 normal wound. Healing aggravated damage is harder. You can only heal 1 per day, and it takes 3 blood.
Gotcha. I think he's gonna stand up and he's gonna look at Carter and he's gonna go, "Don't leave a pack member behind. Let's go."
Gucci ain't just for the runway.
I fucking hate you.
regretting his move. Francis, you feel this bony hand grab you and start to pull you, and you kind of feel you've got help as someone's trying to help you. What would you like to do?
This is a whole bunch of nonsense, frankly. Not liking it, not liking the bodies. There's a lot, hearing, etc. Grabbing onto the god-awful thing that's trying to help me.
God's got nothing to do with it.
Oh, you're right. I also want to play. I want to have a fun turn. So we're going to see. I want to try to use awe as a way to make these people... My opinion of this is that this is a waste of time. Stop it. Leave me alone. And to get them to stop bodying me.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that. I'm near for it. So go ahead and roll your charisma plus performance. Okay. Your difficulty is 7. I want to say your difficulty is 6 right now because you're covered in gore and blood and you're really pissed off. So
yeah. Okay, let's see here. Man. 7 dice. I have 1 success, 2 ones. So
I'd spend a night move.
Yes, I would.
Excellent. Things are just not going your way. You get a little voice inside your head that says, "Would you like some help, Francis?"
Whose voice is it?
The voice of the teacher.
Of course it is. Yes. Yes, I do.
That's my girl. And the power in your blood surges. And you suddenly, first of all, you gain 2 points of Serpentis temporarily. Which gives you the ability, if you want, to transform into a snake.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like fun.
As the power in your blood surges at the touch of this thing that's inside of you, you feel empowered. You feel the presence of Set deep inside of you, who doesn't seem to be too bothered by the other thing that's there. And suddenly you feel your limbs fold in on you, and you feel your skin become really loose, and you start to shed your outer body as your entire skeleton and your skin just sort of slows off of you, and out of your mouth exits this beautiful big black king cobra, sleek, long, powerful as night, and you just start very easily kind of just gliding through up and over the bodies with 0 problems whatsoever. You look behind you and your skin, this old Francis, just slowly is swallowed by all these creatures that are now fighting over it, this discarded skin of yours. Nice. You climb up, you realize that you're not going to really be able to go up the sides of the cistern as a snake, but there's Lydia there who looks like she's about to climb, and there's Verena there who certainly looks like she's going to be able to climb. Maybe one of them, like a good frog, would give you a little ride up.
I think I'm going to try for Lydia because we're friends.
Totally.
Lydia, on your action, you are about to start climbing up, and you feel something cool and dry because your clothes are mostly all ripped off by this point. So you feel this something long and cool and dry sort of slither up your back and start wrapping itself around you. And you see this beautiful black cobra, this king cobra, just sort of with these iridescent scales, just sort of start wrapping itself around you.
I reach out a clawed hand and just like very gently stroke the scales. I go, "Is that you, Francis?"
I want to give you like a little snake kiss.
I'm like, "Ooh."
TOS people, TOS.
Really? That's the noise.
That's what that's.
Battle?
I love that you of all people saying TOS to us after everything that's happened today.
Just trying to protect my integrity. Francis, sorry, Lydia, it's your action. Would you like to attempt to climb out of here while you can? Your tentacles are still pulling bodies off and kind of, clearing the way for you, and you've managed to get to the side of the cistern.
I would love to like grip onto Francis and see if I could use one of the tentacles to give me a boost up.
All right,
Kind of
so
like riding
go
the wave
ahead
upward.
and do a manipulation and occult roll.
Yeah, okay. I can manipulate and be occultic. What does that say about me? It's a whole pile. D. What's my goal? 7?
I would say it's challenging. 7.
Okay. That is 4 successes with 2 crits. Do they explode?
Yeah, they explode.
They explode.
They explode.
Yeah, so that's where it stops. No failures on the
All right.
explosion though.
You you order one of these tentacles to sort of swing around, and it comes up, and what it does is it kind of wraps around your waist and just lifts you up into the air and deposits you on the side of the well with Francis kind of wrapped around you, and then it releases you and goes back to battering those supplicants in the well.
Is the big bad, is she still alive in there, Nedra?
Yeah, she's currently hugging Carter, and you can see what appear to be her rib bones kind of ripping through the back of Carter's body as he's like got another one kind of beating on him, and he's clawing at her, and you can see that Archie's on the ground having drop kicked one of the other things that's trying to get up and hammer at Archie.
Fuck. And there's like probably nothing else I could do.
You've done your action. I mean, you can move or say something, but
I think Lydia would have been so confused and concerned with getting out of there that she didn't even realize that Archie is still down there and that Carter is still down there too.
Well, they're not down there. You're now on the same level as them.
Oh, I'm on the same level as them.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now I'm like, I get up there and I go, nah, fuck.
And I apologize. I should let you describe the tentacle raising. I gave everybody else the opportunity to describe their moves. I should have given it to you, but
I see how it is.
yeah, sorry. We'll give you extra pay. Next up, back to the top, Carter. This thing is like digging into you. It's really wounded, like, it doesn't have a lot left. But if you don't do something, it's gonna.
Oh, he's gonna straight up he's gonna do the scoop, where like his claws are gonna come down up under those ribs, and then he's gonna with his blood enhanced strength, he's just gonna rip up with his claws, essentially snapping all of those ribs that are puncturing him, kind of like how you'd break an arrow off or something along those lines, only he's doing it with all those ribs using his claws.
I got you. Give me your brawl plus strength. Ever since I threw away that die that rolled 2 1s in a row, I've been rolling killer, by the way, just not to make you guys nervous.
All right.
But.
So I want this to happen. How many night moves you willing to let me use to make sure that this happens? Because I'm sitting
Yeah,
at
Bleak.
I'm sitting at 4 successes right now, and I have 5 night moves, and I feel like bumping that up to 7 just to make this hurt extra. Because if there's one thing that Carter can't abide, it's a demon worshiper of all things. I mean, he
I'm
was
willing
raised.
to let you do that. I'm willing to let you do that. Blow those 9 moves and tell me how you end this thing.
So he rips his claws up, right? Snapping off the ribs, right? And like as the ribs are sort of like flying in the air, he grabs one of them, just looks this creature in the eye and goes, the power of Christ compels you. And then slams the freaking rib right into her fucking, like right into her beating heart.
As you do that, with this smile of utter pleasure and happiness, she slinks away from you. Her ribs rip out of you. She falls down, this bloody, gory, opened up mess at your feet. As this occurs, the supplicants all around you let out this loud gasp and this moan, and all of them fall to their knees and they start just venerating her body. They're bending down and just completely absorbed in this moment. This low guttural sound is rising from their throats. It's echoing in this massive chamber. The place smells of death and blood and all sorts of things. You can hear the moans and these prayers also coming from the pit as Verena climbs out of it in this weird spindly form that's slowly putting itself back into the Verena that you know. And this chanting echoes through this room, and the smell of the blasphemous aura of the entire place mixes up with that smell of blood, and it's driving all of you, and you feel your beast just kind of yearning and start to beat almost in tempo with this chanting that's going on, and you know it's probably time to get the hell out of Dodge.
Time to go?
What would you do?
Well, let's go.
I run over to Archie and like just help him get situated after I imagine a little bit of pain from 619ing this bitch in the face.
Archie in this moment is so pissed off that he had to do that he's kind of allowing the beast to take over, and he's starting to pummel on this supplicant, like very aggressively that nobody has seen. Like it's really bad.
Archie. Archie.
Fuck this.
Archie.
I'm so
Archie, stop. We have to go now.
Fucking kicks the guy one more time, and he kind of backs up slowly.
The oddest thing is that Lydia is wearing a snake.
And not much else.
Yeah, it's just. Is that a new pet? What's going on?
It's Frances. I think she has a lot of explaining to do, but we'll deal with that later.
Fine. Hits another supplicant on the way out.
Carter, let's go. Come on.
Do any of you want to stop for a bite?
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not a bad idea. Like a little sip.
No,
Just
that's
like
horrible.
No.
That's a horrible idea. What do you?
What?
That's a horrible
That's not an
idea.
That's yucky. That's yucky. Drop it. Yucky.
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 Stop drinking
Is that an option?
Stop drinking the sewer water.
Yeah, I mean, the supplicants are there and they're literally just like completely absorbed in this worship and veneration of the fallen Nedra.
Archie grabs one by the neck, fully like this, rails his head back like, and just digs into the side of their shoulder.
Archie, spit that out. You don't know where that's been.
He turns around and looks at Carter and he goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Blood bubbling from his mouth with every word and dripping down his chin.
I mean, that's the south side of White Castle, but whatever, man.
I'll have a sip.
He doesn't even wipe this off his face. He just walks by Carter.
Everyone who stops to grab a bite can take 1d6 blood back.
56, Blake. What?
So as Archie walks past Carter, though, Carter grabs him by like the upper arm and gestures his head to where this fight just happened, and he very much looks Archie deadpan in the face and just says, "Respect."
I have my moments.
You got the fire in you, and I'm about it. Lead on.
So after stopping to get a quick bite, did you want to say something? I'm sorry, Ian. You're looking away from the mic, so I don't expect you to be talking. You're good? Okay. You start running up the metal stairs. The chanting follows you and grows louder, and it's reverberating through this room. It's reverberating through the metal stairs that you're running up. You can feel that chanting sort of hammering inside of you, calling some of you to your blood. You feel your blood sort of rise, and you almost feel like you want to partake in this, like you want to take part of it, but you manage to sort of steel yourself, and I need to drink some blood.
I heard blood. Did you hear blood? I heard blood.
My voice is going. You manage to run up. You get to the top of the catwalk. You get to the door. The doors are locked, but you do short work of them between the lot of you with your various strengths. You manage to rip it out. You find yourselves in a sewer tunnel. You just run out blindly in it, not too sure where you're going. You're just trying to get away from this noise that haunts you, and it follows you for what seems to be like an abnormally long time. Like you've been running for like 10 minutes, turning down different sewers, kind of completely lost, and you can still hear the echoes of it. And when you stop at some point, Carter, you don't hear anything anymore, but the other three of you, you realize it's in your ears. It's coming from inside of you, this chanting that's kind of continuing, and it's growing softer a little bit as you get away, but it's still kind of in there. Eventually, as you're moving around, you'll eventually manage to find, some signs or some symbol or something like that kind of guide you a little bit. You eventually find an entrance, a sewer entrance, and you climb up the stairs, and someone pops open the thing, and you can see there's still a couple hours of darkness. And you open it and you climb out, and you realize you're in an industrial park similar to the one you went in, so you're probably kind of in the same area, but a few blocks away probably. As you climb out, each of you, well, not each of you, maybe I'm lying, but Carter, as you climb out, you get an image in your mind, place you've been to before. Coney Island. And you get a time 2 weeks from now. And as you climb out, Lydia, you get yourself out of there. You already know where you're going. The card in your pocket tells you you're going to Caesar's Casino in Chicago near the river. That's where you're going to find him. You know he's with the Tremères. It's not clear to you whether or not he knows who he is, but he's there. Francis, as you come out still in snake form, are you still in snake form, or do you revert at some point? What do you do, Francis?
I think once we're actually safe, if you're hitting the surface, is probably when I revert back.
Well, then let's do that. Let's do that before you get to the serve. Once you arrive, you slither off. Lydia, you feel Francis slithering off of you and go down the ground, and you see the snake start to shake and the skin starts
I like
to
it
shake.
on the way down, just so you know.
And as the snake starts to shed its skin, this young woman emerges out of it that you recognize as Francis, as she drags herself, naked as the day she was born, of course, just coming out of this husk of this cobra snake that she sort of leaves behind and slithers out of.
That's better. Thanks for the ride. That was nice.
I think I like you more now.
About time.
I think I like you less.
Is that possible?
I
Yeah.
don't think you like anybody.
Do I have my
Are you
bag?
naked?
Do I have my bag?
Yeah, you have your bag. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do a roll because you were in the pit. Give me just a D10 and call high or low.
We'll go high. I got a 7.
All right, you're good. I do want to say that as you're looking to see if you have your bag, Vorena will kind of lean in and look at Francis and go, I'm really turned on.
The dress shirt that Carter was wearing earlier, he pulls out and throws at Francis, as well as like a pair of like gym shorts that he had in there. Like, we can't have you walking around the streets buck naked.
Taking the clothes, looking at Verena. We can play later if you like.
And her grin spreads.
Oh, hell no. And he just turns and he just starts walking off.
Anybody else want to say anything before you climb out?
You know, I like her. I really like her.
As you're all kind of just staring at each other in true Sabbat fashion, having just escaped from a flesh pit of, organ sacrifices, you're just thinking of getting it on.
You're not?
I'm the GM. I'm trying to keep a sense of decorum here. You climb out eventually, as I was saying, out of the tunnel, out of the sewer grate. Francis, as you climb out, you see play before you again the same scene you've seen a few times, Elliot running to talk to someone in a dark, shadowy corner. And when she does, you see a young woman wearing a leather jacket. She seems a little distracted, perhaps, long curly hair. And you don't know who this person is, but for the audience's sake, I will tell you that you see Cassie, Myriad's character from Lights. Hey, hi Myriad, how you doing? How you doing? I like it because Myriad's always here, and I know when I do something like that, I just have to look over and chat, and Myriad will be in there going, "What the fuck, Bleak?" The four of you have climbed out. You're sitting around this open sewer grate. There's maybe an hour and a half of darkness left. You're in the middle of this industrial park in Chicago. What do you do?
I go over to Archie and I grab him, put his little face in my hands, and I go, "Baby, are you here?"
I'm fine. I'm fine. Just having a little fun.
I'm glad to see it. Look, there's
Like, just you look really close at his face, and for some reason, I don't know if it was the shadow of the sewers or anything, but as you look at him, the glint of his eyes are red.
We need to talk about this because I found something out.
Me too. Found a lot out, actually.
I kind of like eye over to where Carter is, just not in front of him.
I could kill him now.
That'd be fun.
It would be. I got the time.
Whatever you want, babe. You know I support you.
We'll continue the fun. Gives you a little kiss on the forehead. He's a little taller than you, even in heels.
Mm-hmm.
Puts his hair up and he goes, "Well, are we taking a bus back or can we at least get a hotel?"
Oh, gods, please. A hotel, yes.
What about the rest of you? What are you doing?
I mean, knowing that flirting with Verena makes Carter super uncomfortable, we're going to lean very hard into that currently. That's mostly what I'm preoccupied with.
I just want to watch.
It's not weird. I just want to watch.
Warren is asking you very specific questions like, when you do that, where do your bones go? Because there's not enough room in the snake for all the bones. The organs you can squish down, but the bones, where do you put them?
I'm not sure if I know exactly. Maybe next time I transform, you can dig around and find out.
What if you transformed and went inside of me and then started transforming again? So as that discussion is going on,
Wait a minute.
Carter, what's Carter doing?
Carter like walks over to Lydia and Ian, or not Ian, but Lydia and Archie. And he just looks and he just goes, well, my job here is almost done.
Yeah.
And he like flicks out a single claw and swipes at his palm, letting the blood get nice and thick. And then he slaps Archie's chest with a big ruddy red bloody handprint. And then he looks at Lydia and goes, sorry. And he turns and he just starts to walk off.
Carter, wait. Please, just come back for a moment.
Yeah.
And he like gently grabs the hand from Carter that probably still has a little bit of blood on it, and he pulls it to his face and he goes,
Does this mean we're dating now or what?
you wouldn't know what to do with it if you had it.
I mean, I'll give you the best 2 minutes of my fucking unlife, that's for damn sure.
Not enough time for me to even get out of the bathroom.
I mean, I get mine.
Keep trying, Budweiser. You'll have your chance.
It is Miller High Life, the champagne of beer.
I think actually Archie leans in and gives him a kiss, full blown on the mouth.
Yes.
When you do that, oh my.
There he is. We'll make that 5 minutes.
Can I watch that too? Or
No, sorry, Lydia. This is definitely boys only club.
Ugh, no fun. Verena, can I come?
As you ask that and turn to Verena to see that her and Francis are doing something that's slightly indescribable.
TOS.
You hear a woman's voice from not too far away who says, if all of you are done trying to fuck each other, I hear you've been looking for me. And when you turn, you see this woman dressed in garish neon lit colors with a white katana on her back, crouching nearby. Says, my name's Ophelia. Think we have to talk?
Yeah, I think we do.
And that, my friends, is where we will end tonight. Tonight's session, with a lot of hugging and kissing, weird sex happening.
Damn, to the elbow?
I mean, come on, if it's Francis and Verena, that's That was like a warm up.
Yeah. Can you turn into a snake, go inside, and then turn back on? What?
It's important to discuss boundaries, safe words, etc.
Welcome to Bleakseason.
Brian is like, my safe word is.
I need to sit down. Oh my